Our headline sponsor is RMG Ghana Limited, and our gold sponsor is Big Stationery Ghana. As we said earlier, our theme for this year is public education, an essential factor for significant impact, growth, and development of Ghana. So today, on my right and on my left, I have schools from other regions aside the BETHEL region. I have a school from the central region and also from the eastern region. So we're going to our contestants to ask them to introduce themselves. I begin with the school on my right.
Eastern University Junior High School.
University Junior High School.
Okay. And to the contestants on my left.
Norman Tracy Dakuma, Bethel Preparatory School.
Ofek Jericho is from Bethel Preparatory School.
So we have Tracy and Jerry from Bethel Preparatory School. That's Sumana, the Eastern region, and Joseph and Vera from University Junior High School. Okay. And I'm also now a pilot table, your quiz mistress. Okay, Tracy and Jerry, tell us a little about Bethel Preparatory School.
We are from Bethel Preparatory School in Sumana. It was the sole vision of a nobleman called Mr. Mwefu Ebenezer, who is the proprietor of our school, to give children of school age the very best of education. Because our motto is give out the best without thinking of the cost, we are here at Mabobi to give us our best without thinking of anything.
So all the way from Somania, they are here to give out their best without thinking of the cost. I believe we can give them a hand. University Junior High School, what's your school's motto?
Excellence and service.
Excellence and service. Thank you very much. For very exciting updates of the National Core Subjects Quiz, just follow us on all our social media platforms. Just search National Core Subjects Quiz on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even YouTube. Like and subscribe to all our pages. And then you get to see all our videos, pictures, before the contest, after the contest, during the contest. Thank you very much. So for today's contest, there'll be 4 rounds. 4 rounds. The first round, you have questions from general knowledge on English and social studies. For the second round, you have questions that border on general knowledge. For the third round, we'll have questions from odd select and swift response. And for the fourth and final round, we'll have questions from logical illustrations as well as verbal puzzles. Now for a major question, you have 15 seconds to provide your answer. 15 seconds. And within the 15 seconds, you have 3 attempts. 3 attempts. However, if there's a bonus, you have just 10 seconds and only 1 attempt. When we get to the side for the swift response, your time will be reduced to 10 seconds to provide your answer. And for a bonus, you'll be given 3 seconds. I hope you are clear. Okay, so I believe we can start. Are we all ready? Can I see some smiles on my contestants' faces? We are a bit tensed. Okay, so we are beginning. University Junior High School. Give me a synonym for gifted.
Talented.
Talented, that's correct. Bethel Preparatory. A synonym for courteous.
Manali.
Manali, that's right. University Junior High School. Spell communicate.
Communicate. COMMUNICATE. communicate.
That's right. Bethel Preparatory. Spell the word examination.
Examination. EXAMINATION. Examination.
That's right. University Junior High. What is the model of the earth known as?
The globe.
The globe. That's correct. Bethel Preparatory. The part of a highland that projects into a lowland is known as
A spare.
a spur. That's right. This brings us to the end of the first round. At the end of the first round, University Junior High School had 9 points. And Bethel Preparatory School also had 9 points. So we move on to round 2. That's questions on general knowledge. I'll begin with Bethel Preparatory. The Akan originally settled on the basin of which river?
River Pra.
River Pra, that's right. University JHS. The branch of science and technology that is concerned with the design, building and use of engines, machines and structures is known as
Engineering.
engineering. That's correct. Bethel Preparatory. The practical use of scientific discovery in industries is called
Technology.
technology. That's right. University JHS. Which of Ghana's presidents built the Pebiasa Lodge?
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Bethel Preparatory. Who was Ghana's first international airport named after? Abonos to University Junior High.
General Kutuka.
I'll give it to you. Now the full name is Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kutuka. Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwesi Kutuka. So University Junior High, your major question. Ghana's seat of government was named Flagstaff House and changed to Jubilee House. In which year was this done?
2017.
No.
2018.
2018, that's right. Bethel Preparatory. In which year was Ghana's seat of government moved from Christianborg Castle to Flagstaff House? No. Abonos to University Junior High?
1960.
No. Does anyone in the audience know? The answer is 2013. 2013. University Junior High, your question. The people of Gonja migrated to their present home. Where did they migrate from?
Monday in Senegal.
That's correct. This brings us to the end of the second round. At the end of the second round, Bethel Preparatory School has 6 points. And University Junior High School has 13 points. We move on to the third round, which is in 2 parts. We'll begin with the odd select. So I'll read out a set of words, and you have to pick the odd one out and give me the reason why it is odd. Do we get that? If you're able to give me the odd one out and also the reason why, then you get your full marks. However, if you give me just the odd one out, you get 1 point. And if you give me just the reason, you get 2 points. Do we understand? Do we understand? Okay. So I'll begin with University Junior High. Shakespeare, simile, oxymoron, metaphor.
Shakespeare because he's an author.
I'll give it to you, that's correct. Bethel Preparatory. 2 out of 5, 3 out of 15, 12 out of 8, 6 out of 7.
6 out of 7.
No.
12 out of 5.
No.
12 out of 8.
1.
Because it's an improper fraction.
So I'll give it to you because it's an improper fraction. We move on to swift response. Swift response. In this round, you have 10 seconds. 10 seconds to provide your answer. And if there's a bonus, you have just 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Are we ready? So I begin with University Junior High School. The work done when a force moves a body through a distance of 6 meters is 720 joules. Calculate the force applied.
120 Newton.
120 Newton, that's correct. A force of 5 Newton moves a body through a distance of 22 centimeters. Calculate the work done.
110.
Come again.
110 joules.
110 joules. University Junior High. Jude bought a diary for 15 cedis. He sold it to James at a profit of 20%. How much did James pay for the diary?
18 cities.
You went after the bell. Yes. So a bonus to BETHEL Preparatory.
18 cities.
18 cities, that's right. So BETHEL Preparatory, the major question. A tank holds 200 liters of water. How much water is in the tank when it is 4 out of 5 full?
160.
Come again.
160 centimeters.
No.
160 liters.
160 liters. This brings us to the end of the third round. At the end of the third round, University Junior High School and BETHEL Preparatory School both had 6 points. On to the final round for today's contest. So for this round, we'll begin with the logical illustrations. Logical illustrations. So I'll give you your question or your illustration for the day. I'll read it out. You're not supposed to start until I ask you to. You're not supposed to start until I ask you to. You'll be given 5 minutes to solve. 5 minutes. So please come to your question. So don't start until I ask you to. A logical illustration for today. 1. State Ohm's law. 2. Write the equation for Ohm's law and define its components. 3. Calculate the potential difference across the resistor of resistance 20 ohms with an 18 ampere current passing through it. Then the final part. 3 resistors each of resistance 8 ohms are connected in series. 1. Determine the total resistance of the circuit. And 2. Determine the total resistance of the circuit when the 3 resistors are connected in parallel. Do we all have the same thing? Do we have the same thing? So you have 5 minutes. You can start. Contestants, you have a minute more. You have 30 seconds more. Okay, time is up. Please handle your answers. Handle your answers. Contestants, please present your answers on the board, just as you have it on the paper. For logical illustration, this is my solution. Ohm's law states that the current passing through a metallic conductor is proportional to the potential difference, or the potential difference across a metallic conductor is proportional to the current passing through it. The equation for Ohm's law is V is equal to IR, where V is the potential difference, and I is the current, and R is the resistance. Potential difference is the work done when a charge is moved from one point to another. I, which is current, is the flow of charges per second, or a measure of the rate of flow of electric charge. R, that's the resistance, is the opposition to the flow of current on a conductor. For the next part of the illustration, to calculate the potential difference across a resistor of resistance 20 ohms with an 18 ampere current passing through it, we'll have our formula V is equal to IR. So this will give us 18 times 20, and our final answer will be 360 volts. For the final part of this illustration, to find the total resistance of the circuit, to find the total resistance of the circuit if 3 resistors of resistance 8 ohms each are connected in series, we'll have the total resistance to be equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. And this will give us 8 plus 8 plus 8, and our answer will be 24 ohms. And for the final part, that's the total resistance when the 3 resistors are connected in parallel. We'll have 1 over our total resistance to be equal to 1 over IR plus 1 over R2. Our total resistance, to find the total resistance when the 3 resistors are connected in parallel, we'll have 1 over the total resistance to be equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. This gives us RT, that's the total resistance, to be equal to R1 times R2 times R3 all over R1 times R2 plus R1 times R3 plus R2 times R3. This gives us 8 times 8 times 8 all over 8 times 8 plus 8 times 8 plus 8 times 8. And we have 512 over 192. And our total resistance becomes 2.67 ohms. University Junior High School. They told us that Ohm's law states that the potential difference flowing through a metallic conductor is directly proportional to the resistance at a constant temperature. I'll give it to them. They also told us that they rightly give us the equation, that's the formula for Ohm's law. That is V is equal to IR, so they get a point for that. Also, they define the components. They tell us that I, which is the current, is the flow of charges per unit time, so they get a mark for that. And R, the resistance, the opposition of electric currents across the circuit. They get another mark for that. For the next part, they are able to find the potential difference across the resistor, and they get their final answer to be 360 volts. For the final part of the illustration, they found the total resistance when the resistors are connected in series. That is 24 ohms. And also, for the total resistance when the resistors are connected in parallel, they give us the right formula, R1 times R2 times R3 all over R1 times R2 plus R1 times R3 plus R2 plus times R3, sorry. However, they are not able to give us the final answer, so they get a mark for that. So in total, University Junior High School has 8 points. For BETHEL Preparatory and Junior High, they also began by telling us that Ohm's law states that the potential difference across a conductor is directly proportional to the current that flows through it at a constant temperature. I'll give it to them. They also rightly state the equation for Ohm's law, that's V is equal to IR. However, they are able to define just the component I, that's the current. So they tell us that I is the flow of electrical charges in the conductor. So they get a mark for that. They just tell us that V is voltage, they get half a mark. And they also don't tell us what R is, but they go ahead and state that resistance is the force that opposes the flow of electrical current in an electric circuit. So they get another half mark for that. For the next part of the question, they are able to find the potential difference across the resistor. Their final answer was 360 volts. They get a mark for that. Then, to find the total resistance when the resistors are connected in series, they give the right formula and they get their answer, 24 ohms. They get 2 points for that. And for the final part, they are not able to complete it, so they get no mark for that. So in total, they have 7 points. So we move on to the last part, that's the verbal puzzles. The verbal puzzles. For this, you need your bells. You need your bells. So I'll read out a set of clues, and if you know the answer, you need to alert me by pressing your bell. So can we hear the bell for University Junior High? And for BETHEL Preparatory? So if you're able to get the answer right on the first clue, you get 5 points. On the second clue, you get 4 points. And on the third and any other clue, you get 3 points. Are we clear? If you press the bell and you give me an incorrect answer, you're out. You can't answer anymore. Please, do we get that well? Do we get that? So we begin. I am formed by the actual intersection of rays. Yes.
Real image.
Real image, that's right. The answer on the first clue, they get 5 points. The next verbal puzzle. Air gets into me through a small opening.
Micropower.
No.
Pillow.
So I'm going on. By this, I produce sound and enable people to communicate. You're out. This opening, covered by a flap of tissue called the epiglottis, is known as the glottis. It is in my region that the Adam's apple lies. Who am I? No. Audience, who am I?
The voice box.
The voice box, that's correct. This brings us to the end of the fourth round. At the end of the fourth round, University Junior High School has 8 points. And BETHEL Preparatory and Junior High has 12 points. So before we get the final results, let's hear from our contestants. Anything you have to say to us? You've come from far, so we'd like to hear what you have for us. I'll begin with BETHEL Preparatory. Speak into the people. Anything that's good. Okay, then let's hear from University Junior High.
Follow excellence and success will chase you.
Follow excellence and success will chase you. Thank you very much. At the end of today's contest, both schools have done really well. Our contestants have given up their best. BETHEL Preparatory and Junior High had 33 points. And University Junior High School had 36 points. Congratulations to both schools, you've all done very well. In your own right, you're all winners.